Consider a scenario in which you could go back in time, see historical occurrences, and even alter the course of history. In this universe, anything is conceivable and the laws of physics can be bent to your will. For ages, scientists and writers have been fascinated by this concept. These 10 astounding hypotheses will offer you something to ponder, whether you think it is possible or not. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about the top 10 theories on time travel. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Number 10, General Relativity. Einstein's theory of general relativity is a great masterpiece in the field of physics. For our benefit, it also lays the groundwork for comprehending the idea of time travel. In a word, Einstein's theory asserts that spacetime is formed by the interaction of time and space. Think of the fabric of spacetime as a huge trampoline, with huge objects like planets and stars making dents in it. These dents, or gravitational fields, influence how objects travel through space. Let's imagine you want to travel through time. General relativity suggests that it may be feasible to control those gravitational forces in order to shortcut spacetime, basically bending it to enable time travel. It resembles building a spacetime warp or tunnel. But before you get too excited about the prospect of hopping into a DeLorean and returning to whatever time period you believe to be the golden age, there are some significant obstacles to overcome. The most obvious reason is that we don't have the technology to do so. Equally essential but less discussed, establishing a stable wormhole would take a massive amount of energy. To give you an idea, we could take every nuclear weapon on the planet and harness all of the energy from the explosions and still not be able to build a wormhole. Nonetheless, the possibility exists in theory, and imagining traveling through time is fascinating. Number 9. The Navikovs self-consistency principle. According to this theory, if you go back in time and change something, the cosmos will conspire to ensure that your actions do not influence the course of history. In other words, any actions you took in the past were already part of history, so you couldn't change anything. The Navikovs self-consistency principle can be compared to a game of billiards. If you miss the pocket of the shot, the balls will continue to bounce around until they wind up in their predefined spots. It's a perplexing concept, yet it could allow for time travel without causing paradoxes. The Navikovs self-consistency principle is, of course, still just a theory, but it's fascinating to consider. Number 8. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. According to the many worlds interpretation, when an event occurs, the world splits into several branches, resulting in a multiverse of parallel universes. Every conceivable consequence of every event exists in its own branch in the multiverse, so if you went back in time and changed something, you wouldn't be erasing or altering the past, you'd simply be establishing a new timeline. In the many worlds interpretation, time travel is analogous to touring a vast forest with endless hiking routes, each leading to distinct and different vistas of the same waterfall. Whatever path you choose, the rest will remain unchanged. Number 7. Closed time-like curves. Consider yourself on a roller coaster, hurtling through a loop-de-loop. You feel like you're traveling back in time as you twist and turn, don't you? That's exactly what happens in closed time-like curves. Closed time-like curves are loops in the fabric of space and time that allow you to travel back in time and potentially influence the course of history. It's similar to a cosmic time machine. But how exactly does this work? The laws of causality become distorted in closed time-like curves. That means cause and effect don't always work the way we expect them to, which means one domino may not fall on the logical next one. Instead, events can create a causal loop by looping back on themselves. Closed time-like curves are still totally theoretical at this point, although some scientists believe they may occur in specific regions of space and time, such as around a black hole. However, whether we will ever be able to use them to travel back in time and change the course of history remains to be seen. Number 6. The butterfly effect. Consider time to be like a river, constantly flowing, with no beginning or end. Consider how a butterfly flapping its wings in one region of the planet might cause a ripple effect that eventually leads to a hurricane in another. That is known as the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect indicates that even minor actions can have far-reaching and unanticipated consequences. What if we used it to go through time? What if we had some control over those ripples? What if we could make our own small ripples in the river of time? According to the butterfly effect, even minor changes can have a significant influence. So if we could go back in time and make even minor changes, we could create an entirely new timeline. Of course, all of this is hypothetical. We have yet to discover a means to manage those time ripples. However, the butterfly effect suggests that even minor actions can have far-reaching consequences, which leads us to wonder, what kind of ripple could we create with larger actions, such as traveling back in time to prevent a major event from occurring? The true risk is not knowing what the consequences will be. Number 5. The grandfather paradox. This idea investigates the concept of traveling back in time and perhaps altering history, rendering our current reality unrecognizable. The paradox is that if you go back in time to kill your grandfather before he has children, you won't be alive to go back in time in the first place. This logic can be applied to nearly anything, but one potential solution to this contradiction is the concept of a parallel universe. In the grandfather paradox, if we traveled back in time and tried to kill one of our ancestors, we would kill a different version of him rather than our actual grandfather. This means that we would be influencing a parallel reality rather than our current one. Of course, this is a hypothetical theory, and the existence of parallel universes is still debatable. But it's exciting to consider the implications of time travel for our understanding of the universe. Number 4. Time is a fourth dimension. You're in the middle of the room. You can travel forward and backward, left and right, and up and down. But what if you could jump ahead and backward in time as effortlessly as you could in space? That is the fundamental concept underlying the theory of time as a fourth dimension. Time, like the three dimensions of space we're accustomed to, is viewed as just another dimension in this theory. This theory asserts that just as you may move in any direction in space, you can similarly move in any direction in time. 3 coordinates determine an object's position in space, and the 4th coordinate determines its position in time. In this theory, how does time travel work? Do you want to go back in time to the period of the dinosaurs? Simply move backward through time until you reach that era. You want to see into the future? Advance along the time dimension. Despite the practical difficulties, the concept of time as a fourth dimension opens up some fascinating possibilities and usually simplifies the concept. Number 3, the block universe theory. If time is a massive lump of ice, you can view the full block from start to finish, with all of its twists and turns. Now imagine you wish to go across time. You wouldn't actually move through the ice block under the block universe theory. You would merely exist at a different point within it instead. This is because the block universe theory proposes that time is a frozen river with all events already set in stone. If you went back in time, you wouldn't be changing anything that had already happened. You'd just be seeing it from a different angle. It appears to be a convenient way to avoid any paradoxes. Number 2, the white hole theory. This idea proposes that time travel may be achieved using a hypothetical phenomenon known as a white hole. A black hole is widely recognized as a cosmic vacuum cleaner that sucks in everything in its path, including light. A white hole, on the other hand, is a cosmic leaf blower that spits out everything, including matter and energy. If you could harness the energy of a white hole, you could theoretically utilize it to travel across time, according to the hypothesis. The theory is that a white hole can operate as a gateway, allowing you to enter it and emerge in another time or reality. White holes are thought to be linked to black holes via a tunnel-like structure known as a wormhole. You can emerge at a different point in time or space if you travel through a wormhole. And thanks to the theory of relativity, we know that traveling through time via a wormhole is theoretically possible. Number 1. The Templar cylinder. Consider a donut-shaped object that extends into infinity while rapidly rotating. The Templar cylinder is shown here. Using this theory, we could travel back in time if we could build a cylinder like that and rotate it at near light speeds. To accomplish this, the cylinder would bend space and time around itself, resulting in a journey through time that loops back on itself. In essence, it is a variant of closed time-like curves. If we enter this road and walk along it, we might wind up back in time, allowing us to visit whatever moment in history we like. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.